unmute. There we go. Let me switch to the chatting screen real quick. There we go. Okay, so first things first. The reason I've been gone for 2 months is right around that time, Mr. Wolf and I found out we were expecting. And first trimester kicked my ass. So, with that news, we're due mid-June. I plan on working until about April-ish, so long as medically allowed to do so, and if something happens, something happens. The current timeline for the next year, because again, by this time next year, we're supposed to be prepping to move back stateside and everything. Current plan. I'm going to stream when I have the energy, when I can. We're looking maybe 1 or 2 streams a week. Just as I have the energy, we will stream, because again, I dislike streaming when I don't have energy, because then I don't feel like it's fair to you guys, because I don't feel like I'm at my best to interact with everyone. So that's just kind of how I view it. So looking timeline wise, we're looking at working until about April or so. I will have then 6 to 8 weeks if little one arrives on time. Okay. Just because you can't predict that crap. My plan is, after little one, after I'm feeling better, after we've established routine, I'm not going back to work. I'm leaving my job at that point. Because, again, we move shortly thereafter. So, while that's happening, as long as I have internet access, as long as I have a computer, I'm going to focus on streaming. That's just, we'll have more streaming then. So second half of, well, I won't say second half. Last third or so of 2025 will be a lot more streaming. Up until that point, stream's going to be hit and miss. That's just going to be the reality of it. I'm sorry. After that, once we move and get resettled, I'm going to continue to focus on streaming, because my goal is to hopefully get another government job, but one that is remote work. If it doesn't happen, I will just keep focusing on streaming. As long as Mr. Wolf and I are able to take care of our family, that's what I'm going to do. If I have to get another job, I will figure it out when we get there, type of thing. So, that is the news. That is what we're looking at. I am finally feeling better. I'm finally having energy back, hence the reason why we've returned to streaming. So, yay!
Well, congratulations.
Right, you don't follow me on Facebook. You didn't see that announcement.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
I basically don't exist on all but 2 social media platforms.
I mean, valid. I exist on Facebook for family. My Tumblr's still active. I have a Blue Sky now, because I like Blue Sky a lot more than X or Twitter or whatever the hell you want to call it. Sorry, what's going on? I was announcing the timeline and stuff, pup. Mr. Wolf and I are expecting baby. Baby should be arriving mid-June. So I was saying that I'm going to try to work at my current job up until about May. And then after I've adjusted to baby, I'm not going back to work. So then we're going to be focusing on streaming like the last third of 2025. Yes. Which, yes, if you are coming back in and you didn't hear everything, don't worry, I will take this segment and put it as its own YouTube video as well, just so you guys have it and you don't have to, like, try to skip through, 4 hours, almost 4.5 hours of streaming content.
Yeah, at this point, I pretty much only exist on Reddit and Tumblr.
I don't really exist on Reddit. I just occasionally go, Reddit, what's the answer to this question? I think I've made 2 Reddit posts, and both of them were about the Elgato capture cards screwing up and not being able to get an answer on the frequent Q&A page. Ooh, Matanga chat.
I've not made a post, period. I just
exist.
Comment on things.
Fair enough.
And I'm only really there still for, like, one comic author that posts there before they post anywhere else.
Fair enough. That's pretty much why my Tumblr's still technically active, is occasionally I post there, but there's a Legend of Zelda, like, fan comic that they post everything on Tumblr first, and I love that fucking comic, and I've been following it for years, so. They only post on there, like, once a month, but it's enough that I'm like, I'll forget about it for, like, 2 or 3 months, and then I'll have 2 or 3 chapters to go read. I'm like, yes. But yeah, so after baby is here, after I'm adjusted, and, you know, little one's doing good and everything, I'm going to try to focus more on streaming up until we move. And then after we're moved and settled, I'm going to try to find an online work from home job while still focusing on streaming. Like, as long as our family is stable, we will go ahead and I can kind of focus on the streaming side of things a little bit more again. But that's, once we're back stateside, that's going to be a whole lot of in the air, and I will be upfront with that because it depends on if we are, like, living on post or if we have to rent again. Like, if we have to pay for our expenses again, I'm pretty much gonna have to get another job regardless almost immediately, because that's just the reality of it. If we're in a similar situation to what we are now, we should be fine. So, but yes, that's announcement, that's timeline. We'll go back to gaming now. Let me put a marker real quick just so I know where this ends.
Yay for the housing market.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, there's also the whatever the heck ends up happening with our economy and everything else, but neither here nor there. We're not going to talk about